All right, there we go. All right, happy Sunday. Welcome to my Sweet Pea and Me. My name is Serene. Thanks for joining me. If you are just tuning in for the first time ever, welcome to the channel. My name is Serene once again, and I am an early childhood educator. And my Sweet Pea and Me is all about basically sharing some tips and things along the way that I've learned along the way, being an early childhood educator and a mom, and broadcasting outside with the loud stuff every week. It's always a new sound, a new thing. So I hope everyone had a great week. I hope that everyone is healthy and doing well. Let's get into the topic today. So the topic this for this broadcast is called "Let's Get Organized." So I like to think of myself as an organized person. I actually have no choice but to be. So um, I'm a director of two school programs, and I am also a mom of three. My children are ages 14, 11, and 3 years old. I also am the operations manager for my husband's business, Brickhouse Pantry, which is a catering and personal chef service. And then I have this as my side thing, side hustle, side whatever you want to call it, where I am doing some consultation for early childhood sites, early childhood educators. And so then I'm also working on a book that I've been working on for about a year and a half now. And so I'm constantly adding more to that and hoping to get that out and published really soon. Yeah, so it's kind of a lot of things, a lot of hats that I'm wearing, a lot of different responsibilities that I'm juggling, some for myself and some for my children and some for my husband. So I feel like wearing all of those different hats and playing those different roles, they really, really call for me to be organized so that I don't lose it and trust it and believe. Like, there are days where I feel like I am like this close to losing it. But I think that when you organize your stuff and organize your space and organize your thoughts and prioritize things, that it helps things to go a little bit easier. And so I'm going to talk about actually two really major parts in helping me to be organized, right? So one is compartmentalization and the other is balance. Now, I actually am much better at the compartmentalization part, and I'm working on the balance part. But I'll share with you just that compartmentalization part, and then some of my efforts to do the balancing and why I recognize now how necessary it is. Right, so I'm gonna just jump into it. I'm gonna show you some of the things that I use, some of the tools, some of the tricks and tips. And if you have anything to share, please feel free to comment. For my YouTube people out there, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it. All right, so the first thing that helps me to keep organized, and these things, I use them a lot, so they look really ragged and rugged. So this is how you know I use it. So I have this, right? This is my folder. Yes, it's brick. I use it a lot, like I said. So this folder, I call it my mom folder. So what I love about it especially is 3 compartments, right? So it goes like this, right? All right, so it's 3 compartments. And I actually have to give credit to another mom who introduced me to the concept of it. She didn't have a 3-compartment folder. She had a 2-compartment folder, but I had to find a 3-compartment folder. And so basically what I use the 3 compartments for are for different things, right? So one compartment is for things pertaining to my household, specifically my children. So they get a lot of forms that come home every day. Sign this, fill this out, donate this, different things. And so what I usually do is I collect all their stuff, like at the end of the day when they're, showing me, Mom, and throwing this in front of my face of what I need to fill out. I'll take that. I put that in one section of the folder. And Usually during my lunch break at work, if I take one, I search through that, sign what needs to be signed, and get that turned over to them like in 24 hours, so they'll have it the next day. The other section, I use it for the business, right? So my family business, my husband's catering business. So usually we have proposals to write, we have menus to create. I'm speaking to clients to take orders and things like that. And so usually those notes, that information is what I put in the second part. Once again, during my lunch break at work, after work hours, my regular 9 to 5 work hours, then I'll sit and I'll just focus on that section of the folder and getting those things out, making those phone calls to whoever it applies to. Then in my third section, I put bills in there. Things that bills, right? Or things that pertain to our budget in our household. Once again, phone calls that I have to make as it pertains to the money in our house. And so then what I do is, like, every now and then, probably like every weekend or so, I go through that folder, I pull out the things that I've already done something for, that I don't need the paper anymore, and then I file them away, right? So that's my mom folder. I love that thing, like absolutely love it, right? Want to toss that to the side. Then I have what I call, like, I like to call them my life notebooks. Once again, real ragged looking, but whatever. So these two notebooks, right? You even see it, Brick House Pantry. That is my husband's business stuff. So, and then this is everything else. So in this notebook, what I do, so you'll see things like my Post-its. This actually is a page that is dealing with my son's after school pickup, right? So we have we have two people that are hired to pick him up. We have two people that are hired to pick him up, and so this is getting that schedule together, what it looks like. He has after school classes, so certain days he gets picked up from school at 3 o'clock, some days he gets picked up at 5:40. And so I had to be able to figure that out when hiring the people who are picking him up, and so this is their schedule, right? That's just one thing in this book. Another thing might be, right, I don't know if you can see it, but just a checklist of things that come up, like, that things that need to be done, check it off. And so that is filled with that kind of stuff. Some meal plan stuff, like some things to buy in the house that we want to eat. So this helped me with my food shopping list. But everything is in this notebook, right? When it pertains to my husband's stuff for the business, making sure I'm not showing anything too crazy, but this is when we interview someone, and this is like for hiring staff information. And then once again, of course, just my regular to-do list stuff, check it off for the business, right? So these things travel with me pretty much every day. And if I get a phone call for business, for the family business, I'll jot stuff in that notebook. If I get whatever, an email that pops up for mom life, or basically, the things I have to do as a mom, I'll write it in that notebook, the other notebook. So those are my notebooks. Then I have some stuff for meal planning, right? So anyone who knows me knows that I hate to cook, like hate to cook, right? Which is crazy because we own a catering business, but I think that's probably why I hate to cook, because First Lady. So I think that I don't like to cook because my husband's a chef, like, no, that's a lie. That's not true. Even before he was a chef, I didn't like to cook, right? So I think, though, it doesn't help that he is a chef, and so it makes me feel less inclined to cook. And so, but I do like to organize things. So I've fused that kind of together with planning, because I have to cook. We got 3 children at home, and usually if my husband's schedule doesn't allow for him to be home to cook, we would all starve, right? But I find that if I organize myself a little bit more by meal planning, I have a tendency to feel more motivated to cook, right? So I've had to try a couple of things to help get this off the ground, and this is because I really just don't like cooking. So I'm gonna show you some things that I did that didn't work, because it might work for you, you know. It might work for you, who knows, right? But I tried it and something happened and it didn't work for me, right? So this is the first thing. I got this like on Amazon. You see now how much it's working. It's working for my 3-year-old. Like she's scribbling on it. But what I loved about it, thank you, love you too. What I did originally, what drew me to it was that it has all the days of the week on it. It has all the meals, and then it has your grocery list. What I also love about it is that the whole thing is magnetic, right? So, hey, thanks for joining. The whole thing is magnetic, and so the whole thing just sticks on the fridge. You write with a dry erase marker, and then you erase it, and move on to the next week. I loved it for a moment until I realized that this can't travel with me, and so when I'm out food shopping, I can't take it with me. So what I was doing was snapping a picture of it and then looking at my picture when I go out food shopping. Another thing that I hate to do, but you get what I mean. I got to do it because of buying food and stuff, right? So, but this was good for a moment. Like this definitely held me down for a moment. But now it's my daughter's coloring thing. So that is for meal planning. So now what I have gone to that I actually do love and I do utilize also on Amazon. Amazon is my best friend. Amazon Prime is like, I love it. So this notepad is called the All Out of Notepad. It's all the same pages, right? Everything, like it's literally the same pages repeated. And as you run out, and also magnetic, so it sticks on the back. Knock Knock is the company that makes it. And basically it has all the sections that you, for the most part, would need in your household, right? So fruits and vegetables, spices, condiments, breads, snacks, and then they have all the foods, pretty much some of the things that absolutely that would work out for teachers, right? So yeah, everything that you would pretty much buy underneath those categories, plus they have some extra lines that you can write in your own stuff for the things that apply to your household. And so when you run out of those things, this is sticking on your fridge. You check, and then before you walk out the house, which I can take this off because this is what I need for this week, I take it, throw it in my bag, and I keep it moving, right? So I actually like this a lot. It really just helps with the grocery shopping. It doesn't help with the meal planning, but I've devised a different system for the meal planning that I'm about to share. So the one thing that I've learned about myself in just my years of organizing things and trying to make sense of what I need to do is that if I can't find something out there, like if I can't find it on a website or whatever and purchase it, I'll create my own thing. Like I'm just like, I need to make this work, so I'm not waiting on whatever. So one of the things that I did was I created literally white computer paper, drew some lines here, and it looks crazy because it's a work in progress, but it has like, so breakfasts and dinners, right? And it's 30 boxes, and I did that for a whole month, and I just jotted down on both papers all the dinner foods that I could think of that we tend to like in our house, the full combination. So string beans, baked chicken, and rice, right? And so I just threw that whole thing in one box, and I sat here and thought about 30 different meals for dinner, and then I did the same thing, 30 different meals for breakfast. And so now this sticks on my fridge, and when I meal plan for the week, I just pull something off of this, because I'm like, I don't want to think about this. Like, I only want to think about it one time for the month, and then I just want to look at it and pull what I want off of it, right? But what I use to help me to, like, when I pull those things off, is I use this. So the same company that made the other pad sticks on the fridge also, and literally I'm looking at that big 30-day thing that I did, pulling off 5 things, and I'm writing on here what the dinner is for the week, what 7 breakfasts are, 7 lunches, and down here it says grab bag, but I usually put my lunches for work that I take to lunch with me, right? So that's the way that I don't spend extra money at work, you know, by ordering out or something. And then the lunches here are usually what the kids could eat when they come in the house after school. So when we're not home, the things that they can just grab that we'll make sure we stock up in here. So this, just like the other pad, you rip the page off, throw it in your bag, keep it moving. So that is for meal planning stuff. I just needed to do something to make me enjoy this a little more. I know it's getting a little dark too. See, this is why I'm gonna have to stop shooting outside, but I'll be on here for a few more minutes. Hopefully we'll keep some kind of lighting. So that is that. Then I guess my final thing really are my calendars. So part of me compartmentalizing, just like I have the different compartments for notebooks, I have the same kind of thing happening with planners / calendars, right? So this is for every part of my life that is not the family business. So just a regular calendar, and you can see I go post-it crazy. Like, anyone want to figure out what to buy me for like Christmas or something, buy me a pack of post-its. Like, I'll be your best friend. I love post-its. So but just, I don't ever write in these sections. I'm not so much with those sections, but I do write like crazy here. So all, like, the whole day. I know that I should probably utilize these sections too, and maybe I'll start to do that, but I just don't like these sections to write in. I just like to see my whole month. Oh, my FedEx thing to pick up. So that's what I put in here. Hey Lexi, thanks for joining. So I'll put that in here. Then I have a bigger planner, same kind of planner, but and that's another thing, like when I buy my planners, I'm really picky. They have to look pretty, they have to make me like feel drawn to utilizing them. It has to be something like fancy and cute. My process to pick out a planner or a calendar is actually quite extensive and ridiculous, but you know, whatever. So this is the planner for the family business. So clients call, plug in dates, you know what I mean, plug in appointments, plug in pay dates for our staff members. So that is here. I thought about combining the two, but you know, I'll tell you why I don't actually, and this is part of compartmentalizing. Oh my gosh, it's getting real dark. Hold on one second. Excuse me. Hello? Excuse me, can you turn on the light here?
Yes.
Please? Thank you. The other planner that I have just started using is actually for my son. So our youngest son, he just started, nope, it's not gonna affect. Our other son, he just started middle school, and he's trying to feel it out. He's trying to get a little more organized, and he's dealing with a little, okay, that's light. I feel like in the club, like, that's really bright. All right, we'll try it out.
Too bright?
Let it ride. We'll know for next week how to make it happen. So basically, he is trying to get himself organized. He deadlines, and you know, middle school is a big adjustment. It's not like elementary school. He's switching classes. He has all these different teachers. He's trying to get himself together. And so what I did was I got a planner for him, but it's really for me actually. He has his own planner, but what we do is And I just started it this week, so there's nothing in it yet. But the plan for it is we'll sit down every night. He'll tell me what he has due, and tell me what he's working on and what's the deadline. And I'm going to write it in this planner for me. Why? So I know what he's working on, and so I'm able to, one, respect his time, instead of bogging him down with, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that chore in the house, or something in the house, or oh, we're going to this event and go, filling up the calendar. I know that he has deadlines coming up, and I know what they are, so I'm gonna respect the fact that he needs to work on it. You know what I mean? And so I'll know because it's in this book. And so this is a way for me to help him to organize himself and for me to support him in organizing himself. And then I guess the last thing, which is, everything I talked about so far is for my family and for, my husband and the things like that. But I have my own notebook that I'm very excited about. One, because I picked out the notebook myself. I'm very big on tabs. It helps with that compartmentalization. And this is actually for my hobbies and the things that like this broadcast and me writing my book. This is a book for me that has nothing to do with anybody else in my household. It's mine. And basically the tabs are, I'm drafting my book on paper, right? So I know that that's a thing of the past with a lot of people. Everyone writes things on their computer and stuff. I can't do that. I'm still whatever. I still have to write it down. So all of my stuff is in that tab for my book here, on one of my tabs. Then my broadcast topics, I draft about that. So that's on one of these tabs here. I was doing some classes to become more fluent in Spanish. My notes are in there. But it's my book, my sections, all about me, all about my hobbies, all about the things that I am working on for myself. So that's in that, and that is one of, a book that's really near and dear to me because I want to keep that consistent. So I guess the last thing that I want to just share is I talked about a lot of the compartmentalization, which it works for me because when I'm working on one thing, I don't want to see all the other things that I need to do. I tend to get overwhelmed if I see everything in front of me. But when I know that I want to work on, something with my son, I pull the thing that's dealing with my son. I don't want to open that book and see that here's all my meal planning stuff. Like that's going to annoy me. That's going to make me not be able to focus on him the way I need to because he's going to be telling me about his deadline and I'm going to be thinking, oh my gosh, I never bought brown rice yesterday. Like, no. So it's a way to curb my ADHD that's undiagnosed, but that's my way of focusing. Then also in that compartmentalization, what I've learned to do is set time limits to work on certain things. Because everything is right there in front of me. So like when I open up my book for the family business, I can get lost in that and continue to just work on that and ignore everything else because there's nothing else that's in front of me. So that's where that balance comes in that I'm learning, which is to say, just because it's all there and you see all the things you have to do pertaining to that one thing does not mean you have to achieve all of it in that one sitting. So what I've done now is literally just on my phone, set a timer. Right? So I'm working on this for an hour. When that alarm goes off in an hour, we're done. Right? Close that, move on to the next thing. Easier said than done, and that's why I said I'm working on that balance part. Because I've been known to just ignore the alarm. But I'm realizing that we have to be, and I have to be healthy for all the people that I'm doing this stuff for. And there can be a tendency to delve into your stuff so much, right? And I'm speaking from straight experience. Delve into your stuff so much that you lose yourself in all the things that you have to do. So yes, I have all of these things. I have all these notebooks. I have all these planners, all these calendars, all these wonderful Post-its. But at the end of the day, they're all on a piece of paper, and the people that are in my lives are right, like here, present, and needing me. And so I'm always working to be very conscious of that. And when it's time to stop working and put all those things to the side, I close the book and literally try to close my mind off of that stuff and focus on the things that at the end of the day matter the most, which is the quality time to put into my family. And so pretty much that's about it. And I thank you all for watching, and thanks for joining, and I hope the tips were helpful. I hope that someone walked away with something. Please feel free to comment. Let me know what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Even after this broadcast, please feel free to email me. I love I love like to see what other people are using, to see like, maybe, oh, I didn't think about that. So you can definitely hit me up or email me at earlychildhood@sweetpeame.com. earlychildhood@sweetpeame.com. And that's about it. Have a great week. Enjoy it. Stay safe. Be blessed. Be beautiful. Enjoy. Take care. Have a great one. Bye-bye.